Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be taking a little bit of a look back. Obviously, we're getting into the Halloween month now. October is right around the corner, and I was kind of just looking for some possible content over the next few weeks, and I came across this article here that came out on my birthday, September 6th. Obviously, this is like 10 days later, but yeah, I had a look at it, and it got me thinking about Halloween Ends again, so I thought we could essentially just take a little look at this article, what was written, David Gordon Green's comments on Halloween Ends, a little bit about what I thought of it. I want to know what you guys think of it to this day, now that all that time has passed, and kind of like the recency bias of some people and the recency like hatred as well for others. But yeah, let's just take a little look at this article. So it's titled, this is all on Joe Blow, by the way, but David Gordon Green knows that Halloween Ends disconnected fans. And this bit here about him getting off to a promising start is absolute fact. Like, Halloween 2018, I think, is one of the, like, probably top three, in my opinion, of course, like, made Halloween films. Like, not just because it's, like, new, but obviously the storytelling, and it was just such a step up. Like, that was where Blumhouse really showed what they could do with like a cult classic. And even Halloween Ends, while the storytelling wasn't good, it was very clear that there was an understanding of how to make Michael Myers very scary and good. There was once a time when the most controversial installment in the Halloween franchise was 1982's Season of the Witch. Now that movie has an incredible cult following, the most clear choice for many is Halloween Ends, David Gordon Green's trilogy capper that found Michael Myers living in a sewer and nearly passing the torch to a neighborhood outcast. Although far from being the worst reviewed movie in the Halloween franchise, which David Gordon Green resurrected 40 years after John Carpenter's original, it says here so many of the decisions made by Green and his writing team were questionable to say the least, but Green is well aware of this and the disconnect he created for the bulk of fans, from the bulk of fans. So his quote here is, "As you see with the Halloween movies, the choices I make aren't always the popular ones, so it's trying to make something that me and my great friends at Blumhouse and Morgan Creek want for that property to be fulfilled as much as the audience is there and has the appetite for it. I don't think they were on the journey I was excited about taking." I think with the reaction anyway to Halloween Ends, it was kind of impossible for him to maybe like avoid the very obvious, overwhelming dislike originally straight out the gate. Because obviously hate stands out more than good reviews unless it's like overwhelmingly good. And if you were a Halloween fan or a horror fan around that time, then you will know that like it was slated. When I lay the trilogy out in front of me, I do find it quite difficult to kind of understand how he made the first two so connected, and it was a real follow-up. There were things in 2018 that were rightfully passed over that got held then in Halloween Kills, which we were waiting for it to kind of all then be explained or come full circle in Halloween Ends, which, you know, we never got that. Though it was kind of just this random last edition of just randomness. I do like the way it's described here, where it says, "To many, that journey found him betraying all that had been set in motion." I think that's very true. It was just like he got us going for one thing and then we got thrown the other. That I think was people's real problems, because it was such a shock. Like, I remember going to the cinema to watch Halloween Ends, and I genuinely don't think I've ever been more excited to go to a cinema than when I went to watch that film. Like, considering where we left off in Halloween Kills as well, I was so interested to see how this was going to play out. And I mean, it was sold to us as this great big finale for Laurie and Michael together, Jamie Lee Curtis obviously retiring her role as Laurie. Halloween Ends did give us that final showdown between Michael Myers and Laurie Strode, very true, but David Gordon Green wasted too much time with a character that didn't need to be introduced, especially in what was always poised as the grand finale. It then goes to say that obviously Michael doesn't even have the majority of the kills, it goes to Corey. And considering the reaction then to Exorcist Believer and him kind of abandoning the project, I do think David Gordon Green's in a bit of a weird place where I feel like his name attached to something that does have great meaning to horror fans, like The Exorcist does, and Halloween. You know, it is a bit of a nerve-wracking thing of, like, you know, it's not that it will kill the franchise, him making what might be a bad movie. Like, it's not even guaranteeing it's going to be bad. I think what really irritated me the most about Halloween Ends when it came out was the amount of people that I had told to go to the cinema to go like and watch this trilogy, because not a lot of my friends are horror fans, much less like, you know, knowing Halloween, Friday the 13th, these older classic films. So I used this trilogy time to really run my mouth and, you know, tell people, go and watch these films. You're going to understand it then. And I just remember at the end of Halloween Ends, or even midway through, the amount of people that weren't walking out, it wasn't like it was it wasn't that bad, but the amount of people that were just so bored, and how bad Michael looked to those people that might have just gone to see that film. Like, he doesn't have to win at the end. We've seen him lose before, but it really was just such a weird ending to this trilogy that I don't think I'll ever really understand it. I don't think Halloween Ends is the worst film on its own when you obviously do watch it kind of just as it is. Like, Michael Myers has been gone for a while, and it's like a bit of a passing of the torch film. Like, whatever, it's still not ever going to be one of my favorites, that kind of concept. But on its own, I do not hate it half as much as I do just in that trilogy. So I am interested to know what you guys do think to this. With the years that have passed since Halloween Ends, like 2 years now, do you guys feel any different about it? Do you feel like better about it? Or is it still just kind of like not your Halloween film? I'm very interested to know what you think, and what you think of David Gordon Green as well and taking on these projects. So yeah, let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next